Hey guys, welcome to the fourth episode of Pro Audio Loft. I'm Larry, head and owner of Bigfoot Studios, mixing, mastering, production studio based in Rome, right in front of the Vatican. And today we're gonna review two of my favorite plugins at the moment. The UAD Pultec Pro Legacy is one of my go-to Pultec emulations every time I mix a track, and now Acustica Audio came up with a new Pultec emulation, the Coffee Pun. Um, I thought it was good to A/B these two bad boys. Go check the Coffee Pun out. It's out for free on the Acustica Audio website. Download it, have fun with it, and it's really cool plugin. I'm really enjoying it during these days. I try to level match them and use them in the most linear way as possible. In this case, we're gonna AB them with a trap drum bus. Okay, so it's gonna be a thump kick, an 808, some hats, and with a clap. So really basic stuff, so you could hear how these two plugins react to the signal. I must say that the output trim of the Coffee Pun was quite challenging in level matching it with the Pultec Pro, so I did my best in getting the RMS and peak levels as close as possible with the UAD one. I did found some relevant differences between the two. The Coffee Pun is no ordinary Pultec. It's really warm. I really enjoyed it, but I also really like what the UAD Pultec Pro did in this one. Of course, again, as many of my other tutorials, it's up to you to decide which you like the most. And the frequency also are different. The spots, as you can see, the low boost frequencies in the Coffee Pun are 35, 50, 70, 90, 120, and 220, while in the Pultec, which is we call it a really classic Pultec, goes from 20 to 100 hertz. I try to work around the 60 and on the UAD one, and on the 70 on the Coffee Pun, and I try to do the same thing in terms of shelving curve, although they're not really the same, and you will hear it. But it's good to compare similar plugins in terms of features and what they do, and at the end of the day, it's a matter of taste and what suits the best in order to you know to make it happen, to have a good sounding, in this case, have good sounding drums. So enough talking. I will start A/Bing these two beasts, but I will first show you the dry signal of the drums. No processing, just a little EQ before that, really surgical one, so will not impact the sound at all. And then we'll test the two beasts. Let's go. Okay, so really basic, nothing particularly crazy. I will start off with the Coffee Pun. Okay. The nice thing about these Pultec plugins is that they do emulate a character, which is something that lately we really have been missing out of plugins. I mean, these guys, this plugin has a character, okay, and it affects the sound even on a flat setting, okay. In this case, I decided to boost 3 dBs around 70 hertz and attenuated 1 dB in order to create the classic, Pultec trick. So the two shelves have different curves and they clean up a little bit of the mud. And I didn't use the pre function in here because it was not working for me. After that, on the high end, high frequency spectrum, sorry, I boosted a lot. I boosted around like 8 dBs on the shelf, around 8K, to give it, that really bright trappy tone. Of course, the drum bus would have needed some other processing, probably some like compressor or something else to make it, glue it a little bit more. But since we're just reviewing this EQ, I tried to leave it as raw as possible so you could actually hear what the machine is doing. Well, the software is doing to the signal. So let's dive in and let's hear the coffee pun. Okay, so of course you perceive the level difference between the dry signal and the wet signal. It's totally normal. Um, of course, we're boosting, so in this case, it was needed. And most importantly, what I felt like that the warmth in the low end was quite evident, and it was really pleasing to my ears. Although probably in the high end frequencies, the things did get brighter. I would probably have to tame it a little bit, maybe with some EQing later. But I like the brightness, the overall sheen that it gave to the whole hi-hat and clap section. Okay. Again, this is not the final processing of the mix bus, so I'm just testing the EQs on what I will probably do later. This is like would be the first thing that I would do. So just add some warmth, add some sheen to the high end frequencies of the drums. After that, we're going to review the UAD Pultec. So let's have a listen to this bad boy, and again, you'll listen to the dry signal first, and then I'll turn it on. Okay. Okay, great. So, as you could hear, probably the character in this one was way different. Um, I felt that it was probably less warm, but more focalized on the actual was more focused on the low end. I mean, it was less warm, but I could hear the frequencies more in a more definite way. Um, it's a matter of taste. The coffee pun boosted like the oomph of the kick of the 808 and was really aggressive in terms of boosting when addressing the high frequency spectrum. In this case, for the UAD, I felt this one was more delicate, more again focused on the frequencies tackled. There's no one better than the other. It's just a matter of taste. It depends again on what you want to achieve on the track. If you want to have a really club banging 808 beat, probably you would go for the Coffee Pun. While if you would go for maybe a more radio approach to it, I would go for the UAD Pultec Pro. Again, it's my taste. I have no absolute knowledge on everything, so I'm just giving you what I think about it. But now the most important thing is that we actually A/B the two, okay, while running the track. Okay, so I'll put up the Coffee Pun 2, and we'll just start off with the Coffee Pun on, and then we'll switch to the UAD. Okay, so we'll have a final A/B. Okay, so two really great plugins. I'm a proud owner of both. I really like using them both in my mixes. If I had to pick, in this case, what I would use is probably I would use the high-end frequency of the Coffee Pun and the low-end frequency of the UAD, in my opinion. But again, it's about what you want to achieve. I felt the UAD was a bit more focused, but it's not about that. It's not about having a cleaner signal. It's about getting the feel out of what the signal provides. So in this case, this drum bus, if you want to make it thumpier, grindier, bigger in the low end, you would go for the Coffee Pun. If you want to have maybe a more focused, a bit softer but cleaner and still with an attitude, I would go for the UAD Pultec Pro. Of course, as already said, this is not the final processing of the whole bus, so I would probably later go for some compression, maybe some high frequency compression to tame a little bit of those transients in the 5K area, which will really get you in the face. But again, trap is at the moment really it is needed that those claps sound really loud. It's part of the sound of today's trap music, because the claps and the snares, it depends on the producer, of course, are really in your face most of the time, and sometimes are even at the same level with the vocal. I heard tracks where the snare was really loud with the clap, so it's part of the trap sound. So, but again, it's up to you to decide. I hope this was useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the playlist, the Pro Audio Loft playlist, to our channel. Leave some comments below. Tell me what you think. And big shout out to the guys at Acustica Audio and UAD. You guys do an amazing job for us. We're happy to have these tools available now in order to make music and mix and master and all sort of things. So it's a great period to work on music, work on audio. Keep it real, keep it 100. Ciao.